Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we be coming. Now you are coming, yeah. We coming. We better than a big coming. When the year is been checking you again, cause you go a we coming. We better than a big coming. They are meant to sort out. We coming. We better than.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, let me say welcome to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. This is a program that discusses issues about Liberia and the Liberians. We come your way every Tuesdays and Friday, and we bring you the much needed information from Liberia as they unfold. Tonight, we're going to be discussing a couple of issues, some of which have already been making headlines in Liberia. And we will also tell you exactly how the economy of Liberia is bad, and as a result of bad governance. So I'm going to be having with me Paul, the Lord Children from the UK, and also Mark Farr from the Royal Kingdom of Sweden. And as time goes by in the program, we will invite the Director of Communication for the CPP ANC Liberia. He will be joining us if time permits, and we'll get some live reports from our correspondent in Monrovia concerning the events that are unfolding in the town. As you know, they live there, and they're going to be telling us exactly, giving us first-hand information. And the CPP is set to select its vice standard bearer over the weekend, and we will be getting update from the Director of Communication as to how much preparations are being made on the grounds in Grand Bassa County. So those are some of the things that we'll be looking at tonight. And my name is Linford Dwyer, along with the rest of my panelists, Mark Farr. Mark, let me say good evening to you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, brother Linford. Yeah, can't complain.
Okay.
How's your end?
Yeah, my end is good. We can't do that at all. But let me just say welcome to you, and hope your time, your day, everything is good today, and you are ready for the program as I am ready. While we await Paul to pop in, and Jima is also going to be in the background. We are expected actually to be on the radio, Red FM tonight, but there are some technical issues that we trying to sort out, and as soon as we get signals from the guys in Liberia from the radio station, we will be beaming on Red FM, Red Power, that is, and
Red Power, yeah.
Yeah, Red Power FM, and I understand that that station covers some 9 counties or 10 to 10 counties, and so we may be beaming to those counties tonight. And again, we must apologize that our official Facebook page has lost contact with our system that we're using, and this we have no control over. You know, this is a internet age, and the people who provide these services, the service providers, control them. So we are just end users. We have no control. It's like somebody who cooks for you. They only cook it for and give it to you, eat it. So you will not decide what to cook or how much salt to put, but you there just to eat. And so, Mark, it's good to have you. And we'll be talking to our correspondent, Joe Yonle. That's Joseph T. Yonle in Liberia. And let's welcome Joe Yonle, because Joe is going to give us update, and what he will update us on will be some of the talking points. So let's bring in Joe and see if Joe is good there. Joe, are you good there in Liberia?
Yeah, good. Good evening, Mr. Linford, and I'm here. Okay.
Okay. So you're welcome. We have Mr. Mark Judafa. He's in Sweden. I think you can see him. He's one of the panelists here, and so I think Mark would like to say hi to you as well.
Yeah. Hi, brother Joseph.
Yeah, brother Mark, how are you?
I'm good, and you? I mean, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful.
Okay. So yeah. Like I said, Paul will be joining us later, or as soon as he's ready, he'll be joining us, and we can all, go around the table and see how we feel, how we're doing, and what's on our minds tonight, and then we'll go directly into the program. But let me start with Mark. Mark,
Yes, yes, sir.
what's on your mind? Facebook has taught us this thing now. What's on your mind? What are you thinking about Liberia, about anything?
Liberia is like a child to every one of us, or like a mother to every one of us. A mother never forgetting about the child, whether the child is wealthy or not, what distance the child is at. For example, if the child is overseas or in the same country, or no matter where the child is, the mother never stop thinking about her child. And it's like a child also that never stop thinking about the mother, no matter the distance. So that is how Liberia is to every one of us that in the diaspora, even people that are back home. But we in the diaspora, I mean, we wish a lot that Liberia will, how they call it, progress from the mad, I mean, uh, cloud that covered the country since 1989, December 24th, and that continue to hang over the country, that we cannot move forward after it's going to be almost like 33 years now since the Civil War, and things cannot move forward. So other countries are how they're different. I mean, they're on a civil war, but within 20 years' time, they were able to put the broken pieces together and move forward. And Rwanda is a perfect example. Even look at Cote d'Ivoire. On Cote d'Ivoire, they had their problem. They never went and destroying property, you understand, government property. But we will destroy government property, even important documents, historical documents for the country. Those things are destroyed. So that is on my mind every day, Linford. I won't lie to you. Even though I live in Sweden, my life is okay. But Liberia is like a child to me, it's like a mother to me, it's like my grandmother. So I never stop thinking about Liberia. That is why on my mind every day, brother.
Good. And Joe, you are on the ground. What's on your mind?
Oh, well, what's on my mind now is about the peace and stability of our country. We all are witness to what happened during the 14 years of civil crisis, and we were forced to go exile. We were forced to sleep in the booths. So what's on my mind is about we, the young people. We accumulate almost 70% of the population. So how we go about to respond to things during time like this is very important. So I'm just concerned about the peace. Most often, the recent situation that happened to uh, Senator Johnson, and you listen to his remark that he will be taking 500 men to barricade his church. It's not single something good for us. So as we tread closer to the election, I'm just concerned about we the young people, the role we play, the way we respond to political things in our country.
Okay. And I think that should be concerning to almost everybody here, um, both in the diaspora and on the grounds in Liberia, because whatever happens, it affects everybody, even those of us that are not in Liberia now. It's going to affect us because it will affect our family, our everybody, and so that should be very much concerning to us, like you said, and that's what we all think about. And similarly, that's the same thing on my mind. That the Liberia we envisage, the Liberia we hope to see, it should be a peaceful one, or Liberia where everybody can go to bed, You don't have to lock yourself behind the iron bars. And when you're walking, even in the day, and worst of all, in the night, looking over your shoulders, you wake up, you're not sure how you will find something to eat. No, that's not the kind of Liberia we want. We want a Liberia where everybody can be guaranteed, security. Everybody can be guaranteed good food on their table. Everybody can be guaranteed good health and good, educational system and all of the other infrastructure. So we hope that our leaders and even those that are willing to lead us can take notice of some of these things, because the cry of the people, we the ordinary people, is the voice of God coming to those people who want to lead us, and so they should take note of that. But we'll be back very fast. We just need to play a little bit of music, and then after that, we'll share. While we're playing the music, we'll be sharing the program on our various pages, and we'll be back very soon. So let's listen to.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with their speech they preach in thee, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us.
Well, the people fool us, they lie to us, they betray us. We cannot trust them. But does that mean that we're going to give up on Mother Liberia? No. I believe that we should continue to trust. We should try to find a way, because yes, one time can spoil it. So if somebody does bad to you one time, that does not spoil your friendship. You still got to try again until you can solidify your friendship. So gentlemen, let's get the ball rolling. We are in the political season, and of course, there are things happening. We're not going to go in a order of descending, according to the show what we have made tonight, but we can take it here and there. You mentioned something about the violence that happened at Senator Prince Johnson's church a few days ago, or Joseph, and we all saw that much has been said about it. We're not going to waste all of the time on it, but there is one thing that for me is troubling. The political season in Liberia for now has been marred by militancy, political militancy, where we see the political parties exercising what we see. Not all political parties, because I have not seen the ANC doing this. I have not seen Councillor Gongolo's party doing this. I have not seen some of the other smaller parties doing this. But mainly the UP and the ruling party, and both of them are ruling party though, because UP just came from power and CDC took over from them. So they have this, they are in a militant gear where they have their youth wings that will go and pledge and do all kinds of things. Do you guys, both Mark and Joseph, see it worrying? But
Yep.
before that, we just want Mark, just hold on small. Let Joe give us latest update on what is happening. Like we heard about Prince Johnson bringing in people to defend him. Joe, what do you know about that so far?
Well, thank you. It's kind of very serious in the country, and on yesterday we saw or released or we were released from the elders of Mema County, and in that release they stretch a very essential point, and we we appreciate the tolerance of Senator Prince Johnson, because in the first place is that everyone has his or her right to exercise their political will, and no one should question their right to affiliate with any political parties or whosoever they want to support. So Senator Johnson pledging support to former Vice President Joseph Yama Bwaka is something that the guys from the CDC then reacting very hard on Senator Johnson. And then during the Yumli endorsement of JMB, upon her return, the legislative staffers at the Capitol building, they turned out in the number to appreciate her for supporting and endorsing the rescue team. And then the next day, we saw again a group under the banner of majority staffer from the legislative branch also called other sedition lawmakers to petition them. So there, the vice president made some harsh statement that Senator Johnson was unsatisfied with and making upset. So he took on his Facebook page that he was going to respond to her in his church. And for this is the habit of Senator Johnson. Whenever whenever you go about to engage Senator Johnson, he will always go on the pulpit to respond to you. So the last time when Senator Johnson again said he was going to respond to the president, we saw folks from the CDC, it's not from the CDC, but from the United Party wearing a militant brigade, and they were all in his church. So when he took on his Facebook page that he was going to respond to the vice president at his church and inviting the public, the youth council of the NPP too, on the other hand, said no. This would be the last bus stop for the senator. He always been denigrating key political actors in the country using the pulpit. So they stepped out on the faithful Sunday morning. But again, we all condemn that act, because if Senator Johnson is going to use his church, I think the best thing we expected from them was to listen to what Senator Johnson is going to say, not to go and disrupt normal worship activities wherein you have other Liberians who have the right to affiliate religious tolerance. They have the right to go and worship anyway. So Senator Johnson, he did not respond harshly to them after they barricaded the entire elevator of the church. He walked away. But again, he had the press conference immediately and said he is going to hire 500 ex-combatants. This on the media right now is trending, because you know Senator Johnson and you know his record during our 14 years of civil crisis. You know his role play in that conflict. So yeah, when he took on his page to say that he's going to hire.
Yeah, let me just stop you right there. You take off from exactly where you stopped. But we are getting signals from. We are getting signals from. Do you hear me?
I'm not hearing you.
I don't know what's happening, but we are getting signal from the guys in Monrovia that the Red Power FM is set. So let me see. Moses, do you hear me?
I'm not hearing you.
No, I'm talking to Moses.
Linfo, I'm hearing you. If you can hear me.
Yeah, we are hearing you. So are we good to go on the radio?
Oh, yes. So we are on the radio now. We're live.
Okay. So, folks, if you are joining us, this is the program, The Bottom Line, and we are coming to you via Red Power FM in Monrovia, and we understand. Moses, how many countries do you cover presently?
Presently, we are in 7 counties. 2 of those counties not in totality. The Western region, we cover Bapolu, Grand Mount, and Bomi County, and parts of Sierra Leone. There is a place in Sierra Leone called Pujang. It's along the border. And then we are in Bon County, in former district, Bon Mines, where we have China Union. We are in Maigibi County, and then, of course, we cover Monserrado County. In Grand Bassa, we are in compound number 1, Representative Hans Bashu District, the former Deputy Speaker.
That sounds great. And so that means that we've been widely heard around the country, and hopefully we'll remain on. But tonight, like I said, we have a great number of panelists here. We have Mark Farr from Sweden. We have Paul the Lord Chiripi from the UK. Jamal Kamara is going to be with us in and out. He's doing a technical thing at the background. And then we have our correspondent in Liberia, the bottom line correspondent in Liberia, Joseph T. Yonle. He was just updating us about the incident that took place recently in Liberia between Vice President Joe Howard Taylor and Senator Prince Johnson. I mean, as a result of that, there was some attack on Senator Johnson's church by some people believed to be from the CDC NPP branch. But let me see if Paul is set to come in, or if not, he will join us later on. But Moses, you were updating us. Paul, welcome. And Moses, you were updating us. Senator Johnson said he was going to bring in 500 men. Have the 500 men started arriving? Do you have any idea about that?
You talking to me or Moses?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Joseph.
Okay, yeah. So for that, he already made that pronouncement publicly. So the religious community, the civil society, this afternoon, they came out with a release. And then what the international community and other, representatives here in Liberia is saying, we don't need those things to be happening. We need Senator Johnson to come down. And then according to the elders of Nima County, they need the president to come up to confirm the act publicly. And then so far, we're just waiting to see Sunday. Because if they talk to Senator Johnson, if he accepts, we will know from Sunday, because he has showed the public that Sunday he will be going with 500 ex-combatants.
I don't know if Paul or Mark have anything to add, or else we just escape that and move on to other topics. But that we just wanted to get update. We just wanted to get update on that. So if any of you have anything to add.
The situation with the Prince Johnson issue and people going to other people, not just Prince Johnson, this be happening to individuals that speak against this government. All of a sudden, people going to attack them in the street or at their homes. If they are vocal, the freedom of speech is no longer the kind of freedom of speech people anticipated. So when you talk about freedom of expression, then you should stand by what you mean. but it started with, I mean, we saw what happened to this Justina Taylor and a few other people like Costa and other stuff. So now it's getting to political leaders. So which is getting dangerous in the country. So, but the whole thing here is that this has to a link to the kind of truth and reconciliation that we have in Liberia, because our truth and reconciliation was a different kind, without no, I mean, people being held accountable. For example, like some punishment being given to them. So for that reason, people are not afraid to repeat the dark days. So it is disturbing. Everybody know who Prince Johnson is. Yeah. So he's not going to sit there for people to keep attacking him. So it is a situation that, I mean, the political, the elders, the religious leader in the country, they need not to sit silent now. They need to speak, because those people that want to Prince Johnson play, I can bet 100 or 1 million percent that they were sent by people from the government. They didn't go there on their own. That's what I want to say.
Okay, Paul, anything or else we'll move on?
Well, Linford, first of all, I want to say good evening to everybody.
Mostly we're getting some feedback. I think you gotta mute all the speakers you got in your studio.
Yeah. Just want to say good evening to you guys and also to our listening audience. It's good to be back on Borderline. It's been a while being here. And thanks, Joseph, for the update from Liberia. I think this is a sad time in Liberia, and we all need to be careful. Things like this can lead to something that we shouldn't think of. I mean, the election is just around the corner. People must exercise their right to vote the right people. If these guys are throwing jobs, it's something that is kind of reminding every one of us. So we just need to be mindful and pray for the best outcome of this. And I hope the leaders themselves see sense and reasoning, and then save Mama Liberia.
Okay, thank you very much. By way of announcement, to our viewers, we stay facing some little problems with our Facebook. We try to get it on, but it keep doing some problem. But so we hope you can share the show to your individual pages. So guys, let's move on to something important here. We supposed to have the director of communications for ANC Liberia to be our guest tonight, but we still trying to confirm if he's coming. But let's look at the economy as a whole, and we all know we got people in Liberia. In as much as most of us are out of Liberia as Liberian citizens, we are out, but we all still have family members in Liberia, and we know the state of affairs of the Liberian economy. And so whatever affects them in Liberia, it affects us indirectly or somehow. Let me put it that way. So let's look at the ripple of effect that comes from the bad governance down to the mamere that is selling, fufu in the market, or because that's one of our staple food, or the manchebe who sell the cassava leaf in the market. Gentlemen, how does the bad governance affect people like that? Even though somebody will argue that, oh yeah, they are not working in government, they are ordinary people. How does the bad governance affect them?
Yeah, you want me to start on that?
Yeah, anybody can start.
Okay. The bad government affect everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that government employs, the private sector has more employees, but government as an institution has more employees than all institutions in the country, be it the private sector. So when you have the government, when you have people not taking pay on time, and people being paid very low. For example, people making, I mean, those that making, how they call it, say, those that doing entry level job, they've been paid $75. How they call it, say $150. What is $150 in this? How they call it, say new DNA. You understand? So if the market woman, if the man is not being paid on time, the economy is bad. The people in the market, first of all, the man gonna, how they call it, say manage his economy so that his family will be able to survive, in the sense that he go to the market, they're gonna affect the market woman. That man gonna buy, how they call this, a little ration for his family. So the woman in the market, people not buying too much from her. The woman I used to say maybe she buy a bag of rice from the store and carry it to the market to sell. So now she sell half bag of rice in a day. She's not going to sell half bag of rice because people are rationing, people managing their food, people eating, how they call it, one soup for 2 days. Some people not having breakfast. People got to warm their cold rice, that breakfast. Some people eating their rice, they got to keep some on the side, not eating satisfactorily to go to bed. Some people not having even said the thing we call supper. Some people not having it. The thing we call breakfast. Some people not having it. So the bar economy, it affect everybody in the country. Even those that are in the transport business, it affect them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul, you were in Liberia recently. I guess you had the opportunity, even if you didn't go to the market to buy, but at least you pass around the market ground. And you knowing how our Liberian economy used to be when we were growing up, and everybody else you talk to is saying the country is hard. I know these people are not making up story. So how did you see, what did you see any difference, and how does that difference affect the people?
Well, Linford, when people are complaining, say the country is hard, much, or just touch on it based on economy. When people are unemployed and money not circulating, and people who carry all their businesses not generating money, and they keep telling you, say things are hard. Remember too, we in a global village, and also the crisis in the world also have an effect on the global village. Now, if you look at us in the UK, everything has gone up high. The prices of commodity gone up high. So you think about Liberia, whereby unemployment is one of the major factors over there, and people cannot afford, definitely things will be hard. And if the government is the main source of employment, it cannot employ everybody. So that's why when the country is open up to a lot of businesses, people wouldn't be complaining that things are hard. But it is where it is. We're in a global village. When things go up high, Liberia also have the effect there on that as well.
Hmm. Okay, and Joe, you are on the ground on a daily basis, and I guess you move around a lot. How much is the hardship actually affecting the economy?
Well, if you just pay a visit to Liberia now and you pass to other intellectual centers, you're going to see the kind of new system that they put in place. They are grading the kind of hardship grading our country with the kind of opportunity that the Liberian people have. So like this evening, I visited one of the forums on the old road, and you see that they grade the hardship in our country at 99%, and the government has achieved a little 2%. So yes, the bad governance is all over. And the last time I visited the market, you see the market women continuing to cry, and in the hands of the government, there is no economic security. You see them; they will pay their taxes, they will pay their revenue, but they store their things in the warehouse before they come back. No electricity. You get people going in to poke out that area, carry their goods. They report the case. Government is not looking into that because they are not of the high code in the country. So yes, there are a lot of concerns from the people, and sometimes you go there. The last time Mr. Cummings visited the Gorbachev market, you hear the people complaining that there is no storage facility. They go for their crops and things. They bring it in the city. They bring their plum. They bring their bitter ball, fresh pepper. There's nowhere to store it after a day and two. Everything is going to turn to decay. So, yes, there are a lot of public cry on the bad governance in our country. And that's why you always see them, they cry. They need a change in the governance space of our country.
Okay. Now, that ties us to Mr. Cummings' vision. You know, of all of the people who are in this race, yeah, everybody is coming with some platform. Okay, like, okay, I'll build road, we'll do this, we'll arrest, and we'll do that. But the thing is you can build road. You know, I watched a video that a citizen made recently on the Lofa Highway, and the guy was driving for like almost 10, 15, 20 minutes, praising the road, how the government is doing well. But the direction he was going in, I did not see even one person walking, coming in opposite direction, or I did not see him driving past anybody walking, going in the direction he was going. Let alone a car, or let alone a motorcycle. But you're walking on this good quota, and you're driving on this good quota road and praising for more than 20 minutes. And that's what I was looking at. I was looking to see how many cars would be driving on that road with goods coming to town. And then I came to the conclusion, what is the essence of somebody boasting that my government built road, and the people he built a road for, they don't have car to drive? Why do they not have car? Not that they don't want car, but they cannot afford a car. They don't even have money to buy a bicycle. But yeah, you're building this road. So it's a waste of resources for me. That's, you know, misplaced priority. So this brings us to look at some of Mr. Cummings' vision as he talks about, you know, building a 21st century Liberia. He also talks about expanding the educational system of Liberia, introducing adult education, and very good primary education, which is the foundation for anybody that wants to study. And then talking about creating jobs and revitalizing the economy of Liberia. And then he also talks about the development of agriculture and talking about engaging the hearts and minds of the people. But we'll take one of them, one of those 5 things today to talk about and tie it to the hardship that our people are facing right now. So let's look at, for me, this is one of the most important things. He talks about building a 21st century Liberia. Yes, we need that. But hungry people will not be able to live in the 21st century where the people hungry, the people, they are not educated, no job, they will not enjoy the place. Then you talk about expanding education. Yes, the people will go to school, but if no food to eat, somebody will not want to go to school. Then he also talk about engaging the hearts and mind. And that's a social area where you go talk to people. But a hungry man, you will not sit down to listen to you. Because the most important thing is this one for me. That is to create jobs and then revitalize the economy. Now, how does he create a job? We got, you know, people think that government is there to hire everybody. No. We got the mining sector in Liberia, where you have communists coming to mine. They can be communists that mine gold, communists that mining iron ore, and we are so blessed that we got iron ore spread all over the country. Then you can also create the condition where companies will come and build factories. The agro-processing industry, where we make, like Joe was just talking about, the baggers will bring their food, and then most of the food stuff, they are perishable goods. They will perish after 2 or 3 days because shortage of storage facilities. Then we talk about the housing and construction area where you got. So let us talk about these things and how they help to revitalize the economy. So let's go to I see Paul is there. Let's go to Paul. Paul, I don't know if you want me to put it up again, but for me, to start everything, if I were president of Liberia, the first thing I will pay attention to is to create jobs and then set the economy in motion. Then people get money to send their children to school. People get money to start building modern houses. Then people will be happy for you to talk to them. So for me, I'm thinking that, you know, the most important thing is to open the economy. So I don't know whether you guys want me to put it on and we can look at it point by point here. We talk about mining, the mining sector, we talk about the factories, we talk about the agro processing, that is processing our food, and then housing and construction and ecotourism. I don't know which one you let to talk about, Paul. You are muted.
Well, Linford, thank you. First of all, what I would say is that I think if you want to look at what Mr. Cummings has said, he laid out 5 pillars and he talked about the house and the what and the how he gonna do it. So all of those things that you listed, I think it'll be good at some time to for the listening audience to pay key attention to, because the question is if you say you're going to create job, then somebody going to ask you the question how, and that how, that thing is something that we need to dive into. So job creation, I think he's talking about small businesses are the key for our job creation in Liberia. So if you look at it, is government is the biggest employer in the country, but whereby that if you have businesses, you have a lot of people employed. So all of these little sectors that you lay out is all about job creation, and how is he going to do that? So I think it will be good for us to capture on some of his video where he's saying how he lay it out, and then we can go step by step, because there are 5 pillars in there. You talk about infrastructure. What is infrastructure? Infrastructure building roads. What the benefit of the roads? Building housing unit for the young couple. Liberia is a country that have youthful population. So a young age, 16, 18, 20, 25-year-old person got married. Instead of living with their parents, they into their own flat. So building those infrastructure is also job creation in a way that you get people who building those property, the young people that move in, they able to pay rent, they also working on building side, they into carpentry. So you have to lay out the premise of what he intend to do. So I think it would be good that way, that will lay it out. What the meaning of infrastructure? Imam Miata don't know what infrastructure mean, how to break it down. So let's go bit by bit to get to what he trying to say. And then we
Okay, yeah,
look
we may bring in Mr. Cummings himself
right.
on some video where he's talking, but I want us as panelists to look at what he said here. For example, okay, we talk about job creation here, and these things, there are sectors that are outlined under the job creation. We talk about the mining sector, the factories, the agriculture, food processing, and all these things, housing and construction, which is a very big area of construction as a whole. It could include roads, it could include all kinds of things. Then the ecotourism. Now, those are things that I want us as panelists to look at each sector and discuss it. For instance, we had the mining sector, and how did the mining sector benefit people who work there, or like the various counties? Look at Nima County and Grand Bassa County. Look at Cape Mount, where these are NROC. Then look at Bombas. I don't know how many of you visited Bombas normal days. Then look at Bomi Hills. So, Mark, you want to come in?
Yeah, Lemper, it would be good to have Mr. Cummings on the show to ask him that what is he going to do different from what the past governments have been doing since Lanco came to Liberia, since the group in the Mana River that were mining in bombing. What he going to do different? What he going to do different? The group that were mining in Bon County. What he's going to do different, right? Because we have this company, they came to Liberia, they built these, different camps for their staff where they had electricity, they had water, they had good playground for their children, the staff. Those areas were paved. Those areas, they were, how they call it, they had people that did what you call I'm forgetting the term again. Those people that go to make garden, clean flowers, that plant those stuff. Okay,
Oh,
there's a name for them, but I'm just forgetting. So and the
I think
employees that
landscaping
were
or something like that.
exactly they have good level, and the employees that work with these people that do most of the hard work, they were living in the slum area, in the shantytown area. I went to Beaumont before, where Born Range came from, through the soccer team. Fuller name, we went to Bomb, and when you see the place, but man, the whole area is dusty. Okay, but then you go to the staff quarter, is where arranged, where taking care of the guy electricity. Even hospital for the ordinary people was not in the area that the majority of the people were living. So what is he going to do different? For example, that everybody going to benefit, everybody going to be okay, they're going to have a good environment for these people and the staff, they're going to have good hospital, the same benefit these people getting that the employees that work there, they will benefit. Civil player. So that's one good question to have Mr. Cummings on the show. And then the next thing is, we always know Lamco being in Liberia for many years, the same as Firestone. And Mr. Cummings is not the person to ask this question. What have we benefited from the iron ore that were exported from Liberia? Because as a kid, I used to count sometimes those buckets that carry the iron ore. Like I said on the last time on the iron ore, and those people make hundreds of billions of dollars from Liberia. And after now, Liberian cannot. You ask even those that were in the past government, the Tower government, the Dole government, nobody can tell you the actual amount of the contract, what the value of the contract was. Nobody can tell you. So what did we benefit from that? And what is Mr. Cummings going to do different, for example, when people come to Liberia, for example, is he going to tell us that, no, you're not carrying all the ore from Liberia, you got to build some iron factory in Liberia, you understand? Some steel factory in Liberia that will produce steel for our infrastructure, that we can export steel to some other countries, because the people take the ore, they carry the ore, then we turn around, we buy steel raw, we import steel raw. So what is Mr. Cummings going to do different? For example, is he going to add these people to build steel factory in the country? The same with the agriculture sector. If the people, you can make what's agriculture farm you want to make, you got to export. So what export technology, what export strategy is he bringing? Who are we going to export to, and what kind of agriculture are we going to invest into? Is it the rice, for example, for the local consumption? And there are a lot of foods that the local population need. Look, for example, like Ivory Coast. Okay, if you go to Ivory Coast, you've been to Ivory Coast before. There are lots of food in Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast also export food at the same time. You can be in Ivory Coast and you're hungry. When the mango season comes, the mango is everywhere. When the plum season, how do you call it that? When the pineapple season comes, pineapple is everywhere. Pawpaw is everywhere. So I think Mr. Cummings will be the right person for to have on the show and ask this question, Lembo. The same thing with the ecotourism. The ecotourism, you need roads. So with all roads, how are the people going to go to these different areas? And you need to have, the local. If the economy is good, Lembo, okay. If the economy is good, people that live in these areas, for example, the Sapo National Park, some of these forests that these people going to visit for ecotourism. People need to build local, local hotels or camping site that people can spend the night, and you understand, the biking and so forth. And you got to train people for this area that will be local tourist guide. And you understand? So there are lots of things that need to be done. So what is Mr. Cummings going to do according to all these things that he got? So we need to have him on the show to ask him questions, Linfo. That is how I see it.
Okay, there's a 2-minute clip somewhere about Mr. Cummings where he talked about some of these things. So I will just let Paul roll it. And Moses, like I said, there is some feedback from your area, so you can try to mute all the speakers that you have there. So Paul, if that video is handy, you can roll it and let's hear what Mr. Cummings has to say.
5 priorities we have, and we call that the what. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. So after job creation, our next priority is agriculture. We are a country, after 170 years, that do not fear ourselves. Last year alone, we imported over 160 million United States dollars in rice import, and total food imports was over $280 million. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves, and my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, you can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our fifth priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people.
You listen to him, and he gave you the what's, but the how will be coming later. But before we go to the how, now I want us as panelists to dissect some of what he said. Okay, first, the top priority according to him is, because for me I had it wrong. Earlier on I said if I were president, I would start with creating jobs. But Mr. Kwame said no. He will start with what? Infrastructure. Yeah. But again, he's right, because infrastructure will still create jobs. So I was not totally wrong, because you start to build roads. Who's going to build a road? Not robots. You employ the sea Liberian people to build a road, right? Then you start construction, because that's part of infrastructure. Internet, like people in the RT area, you will create a lot of jobs for them. Then, the rest of it. So I don't know how you guys see that before we go to how you do it, but tell us what you do. He just told us what
Joseph?
you do. So let's see. Let's see what you think.
I think Mr. Cummings is on the right trajectory. Looking at his first priority, the infrastructure. Because let's firstly look at, you want to go out, Mr. Cummings is already a businessman and you have a lot of international friends. So when you want to go out there to attract investors, you should firstly deal with your infrastructure. You should have homes that will host these people. You should have electricity. You should have good roads that will have access to other sites, other places they want to visit. So I think it's very important that we look at the infrastructure. And the infrastructure component is going to what you talk about, connecting farm to market again. So when you're building the local roads, you're building the road in the southeast, you are connecting farm to market. You get other people who will be from Imbo, Juwan, get other people who will be in Zia Town, who will be growing their crops and want to bring it to the market. So the infrastructure component is very unique. And he also scratched on the southeast on other interviews. He looked at the southeast road, it's a basic road there. So looking at his priorities in the infrastructure side. In fact, some of our government agencies, ministry today, they are renting. And how can we build an economy when we generate revenue, we turn around to pay it again? for rentage, for administration agency. So when we look at the infrastructure, I think most of the government agencies that are currently renting or leasing buildings, Mr. Kumi is going to look at that aspect of it, that the government should own her own office instead of paying money to other people. They will be obtaining and building their own office, and then connecting the locust roads. And one of the good things is that it's not going to be the substandard road. If you go to the Freeport end, every time you see government laying crush right there, it's just an every year project. And I believe that looking at Mr. Kumi's experience, how he lived outside, seeing how people develop their country, he is not coming with kind of substandard stuff. That today he just lay out this route. We call that quick impact project. He is not coming with quick impact project because he's going to see with his developmental job for Labrador, segment by segment, portion by portion. So given to the infrastructure, he's going to connect Liberia in the first place. And you can connect Liberia, you can bring in investors, there's no internet connectivity. You get someone going to the southeast, they're going to Grand G there, they're going to River G, and you get no network coverage there. So we have to deal with that before coming out to create a job, bringing in factories, because we already have the roads, we have the internet facilities, we have electricity. So when someone is coming in to bring in factory, they already have electricity in the country. They don't need to go out and import generator, start buying fuel or no. We already have stable electricity. They already have access to the country. They have access to the capital. So it's kind of important to look at the infrastructure.
Good. I don't know how Mark just went off, or whether he's having some internet problem or whatever. But Paul, you okay? Yeah, Mark is here.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Paul, our country, I know you're supposed to do some technical work down there, Paul. So I'll give you the opportunity to do that before. But Mark, chime in here. Yeah. You listen to the 5 things that Mr. Cummings mentioned. He said the top priority is the infrastructure. But you can say go to education. He talked about that. You can say go to health. He talked about that. You can say go to agriculture. He talked about that. So choose one and throw light on it.
For example, for one thing I would like to choose is the education sector, right? You look at our University of Liberia, whole University of Liberia. If you see the picture, the campus, okay, the University of Liberia, where people graduate from and they start to, it is our number 1 human resource institution. You understand? The human resource capital come from the University of Liberia for how they call it, the unprivileged children, that cannot go to private institutions. So look at the picture of the University of Liberia. For example, overcrowdedness. How many students in one class, even though I've not been to Liberia for a long time. And you look at the schools around the country, okay? Sometimes you find 75 students, 60 students in a classroom. So the education sector need more investment. Like for example, in Europe here, you find sometimes the highest 18 students to 2 teachers. Okay, 18 students to 2 teachers on a subject. But in Liberia, it's the different way. Our people are not taking education seriously. And the children are the future of the country. So you have to invest in them more. And that is why I said Mr. Cummings, his programs are good. If you look at them, you read about them. But he's the best person we're going to ask what different is he going to do from the past government when it comes to the education sector, when it comes to the schools, when it comes to the for example, children. I remember those days, people sometimes you used to have shortbread on campus. People used to have shortbread on campus and glass of milk. When you go to government school, people that want a demonstration, they can attest. People that want a demonstration, for example, like I was in a call with Bell, even the PCS in Painesville. Sometimes you used to have shortbread. You go in the cafeteria, they give you shortbread, they give you a glass of milk, they give you Kool-Aid. Those days. So the children nowadays, they are not seeing those things. They are not, benefiting when it comes to those things. So what is Mr. Cummings going to do differently to bring back these things so the children You know, a child, when a child is hungry, that child cannot study. You understand? When a child is hungry, no matter what you do with that child, even in the evening, the child needs small little thing to eat for them to study. So a hungry child cannot study. So Mr. Cummings would be the best person for the I believe the education sector is very bad. Even the teachers nowadays, teachers not getting paid on time, teachers not getting equipment. How many times does teacher go for teacher training program? You understand? People, you our teachers there now. If you carry most of the teachers then to take, tests on the teacher training program, most of them going to fail. Like books, students, books are difficult for students. Teacher then printing pamphlet to give to students. So all these things, they are problem for the whole country, all boiled down to bad economy because investors are not coming in the country. First of all, those that are there, the investors are in the country, and people that are doing import and export business in the country. First of all, how many export we doing in the country? We're not exporting a lot in the country. We only importing. And those that are importing, when they bring things in the country, it's difficult to sell. We live in Sweden, for example, Linford. You can go to a hotel in Sweden here, you understand? $100, and that's a decent hotel you go in. That hotel in Liberia will be like a 5-star hotel. And hotel, for example, you go to Liberia for you to sleep in a decent hotel in Liberia, you don't pay $300, $400 a night for hotel. I spoke with somebody the other day, the person said, no, man, $500 you're going to pay for a hotel. So if the economy is good, you find a lot of people to invest, to build hotels around the country, and these things will attract more tourists to the country. But when somebody look on the internet, a tourist want to go to Liberia, like the ecotourism Mr. Cummings talking about, and there are no enough hotel. The person see hotel in Liberia, $500, $600 a night. The person said, what the hell going on? And they look at Liberia, the infrastructure say is bad, not compared to Ivory Coast, not compared to Senegal. And you're talking about $500 a night a hotel? No. People are not going to come. But if the economy is better, Paul got a hotel, Linford got a hotel, my brother Joseph got a hotel, Musa got a hotel, you're going to find the prices going to come down and people will be flying the country here and there. So that's what I want to say for now.
Okay, Paul, chime in quickly so that we got to be very cognizant of the time. We'll be out of here. We'll be out of the radio, not on the platform, but off the radio by 24, 25 minutes time. So, Paul, chime in quickly. Take one of the topics and talk about, and let's move on.
Well, thank you, Linford, and thanks to. I just want to make a quick announcement. This is on Real Power FM in Liberia. We also have the online radio, and we can be viewed by Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitter as well, Instagram. We're all over the place. Now, let me go back to the topic infrastructure and what Mr. Cummings talked about being his number one priority. If you look at it, he talked about internet connectivity, electricity should be the key. In every society, when there is no energy, there is no life to start with. So that's why he said infrastructure is number one priority. If you go to Ghana today, the kids there, they have their mobile phone, they have internet connectivity 24/7 for little money. In Liberia, you buy your $1 data, it will last you for a few minutes. You switch it off to reserve it for the next time that you want to call. So we're in the 21st century where you have fiber optic cable that connect the whole world. Why should we be behind at this time? Electricity with all the rebels see that we have, the beautiful sun that we have, and we still suffering from electricity. So infrastructure, it comes with a lot of things. You can have a wind turbine, you can have a solar panel farm, you can have, all of those river banks, you can have what we call mini hydro. So if you have electricity and you have road connection, internet, it drives the country. Then we bring a lot of investor. There's something that he said in his last statement. He said, with all of these things you build it, if the people are not healthy, it means nothing. And he said the key priority is primary health care. And that word primary health care is something that we need to dive into. What does that mean? And I think in the next little clip, he might explain it what primary health care means. Because if you're not healthy, you won't have the strength to work. So the key to all of that is health. And what kills people in Liberia, typhoid, malaria, hypertension, diabetes, childbirth, all of those things. And he's talking about primary healthcare being his priority. That means, in a nutshell, the word primary healthcare, to focus on it means when you're sick, you get things like malaria. If you go to a clinic or hospital, it should be free. That's what
Okay.
it's actually meant. It should be free.
Okay.
So,
And he didn't yet lay out those 5
Exactly.
pillars. He said how he would do them. So if you
yeah,
have
so
the
we're
house,
now
can
going to
you?
go to, yeah. So
Yeah.
some we still have time. Let me play the next segment of
Yeah.
that video.
How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians
Frozen.
differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required?
What you
We're going to
frozen
use
do?
arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is, first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So, for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. Okay. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion.
Yeah. Linfa,
Yeah.
you see what I was talking about? And this is something that need to be heard over and over and over. Anybody, any rational minded person, listen to Mr. Cummings, the passion in what he's saying. And you can tell that because I've been to a lot of meetings and stuff, and I see administrators when they are talking, the sincerity from their voice. You understand? And if you listen to Mr. Cummings, you hear the sincerity from his voice that he actually means business. You understand? Because if people are not being paid adequately, then you bring about corruption. You understand? For example, like a bank teller. They say, oh, Linford, a bank teller. That title added to Linford being a bank teller is heavy. The family, the extended relative, all of them. You understand? So Linford is being paid $250 as a bank teller. What do you think Linford going to end up doing at last with that title added to him? But if Linford is paid $3,000-4,000 at the end of the month because Linford is receipt interacting with people and exchanging money. You understand? Handling money for almost $100,000 a day, and you pay Linford $250. What do you think the brother gonna do? The same thing at the Commerce Ministry. The same thing at the National Port Authority. If you listen to Mr. Cummings, like hospital, like what Brother Paul said, small disease killing our people. Some hospital you go there, they don't have machine to do any blood tests. You understand? To know what is happening to the people. Even our doctors, the nurses, for example, no good institution in the country except for doctor training. So these are things Mr. Cummings is going to seriously invest in. And the corruption too at the highest top need to go after, you know, Linford, this thing is like a season, right? Where the old year gave way to the new year. You understand? And that's how we have to keep trying until we find a rightful kind of person that will lay the foundation that will move the country forward. Like UP gave way to CDC after 12 years. Liberian people tried the United Party. You understand? So must the CDC give way after 6 years because even the United Party did their best, for which the Liberian people gave them the second chance. But with CDC, the people already felt it in the first 6 years. Things are extremely difficult. So CDC too must give way to the CPP, the ANC, the Liberty Party, coalition. So just as last year gave way to New Year to this year, so much CDC gave way, my brother. But the Liberian people need to hear this part. This tip, even though they can't see it, but they need to hear this message over and over every time we come here. We need to forget about, some of the funny stuff that I see, like somebody sitting in America who's been, alleged or accused for something and talking about Mr. Cummings, and we go after him. We go after people like former information minister. These things should not be important for us. We need to talk about Mr. Cummings' message, the CCP message. Every day, Liberian people need to hear the message. That's what we should come on here for. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, Linford, I guess we will have maybe what about 15 more minutes or 14 more minutes on air in Liberia. Is
Yeah.
there a way that we could ask to get view from
Brother
Joseph
Joseph.
and then see how we can get our brother in the studio to if he can take a few calls to see what the people think? Because one
Okay.
of the things in Liberia, people don't really listen to what the message the politicians are setting out there. They listen to people that are keep talking. That hear they say, but what he's saying here, person who telling you say, I don't need money. If you pay me salary, I will give it to a charity. It means I've got money already, but I want to change Liberia, and that's the message he's sending. If you pay me, I will give it money to somebody else, another agency to use it. But I want to change Liberia, and that message need to be heard. How he want to change Liberia, he have already laid it out. But the people in Liberia, are they listening to what he's saying? Why his intent and how he want to transform Liberia? This is that the message people need to listen to instead of hearing secondhand message from somebody else. Say, oh, this man just came. I'm a Liberia, born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia, educated in Liberia. Why would I? Because I have the opportunity to go to Sierra Leone. I come back home to do something and say, oh, the man just come, like you're not a Liberian. So these are the things that we need to talk about. And I agree with you, Mark. We need to hear all of these politicians, what they are saying. We're also going to, the next time will come, or we'll hear what Joseph Barker is telling the people. We'll hear what Teron Gonglo is telling the people. So Cummings has laid out the 5 pillars. So people need to listen to what he's saying instead of people going with misinformation. So therefore, if we get time, maybe 1 or 2 person can call in and give an input.
Yeah, but let's hear from Brother Joseph
Well,
first and Brother Moses. Let's give them the opportunity to chip in.
well, Joe, I don't know if Joe has anything to chip in just under 1 minute, because should we have callers? We want to listen to the callers. But callers, you can call us on this number. It's a WhatsApp number, so you can call us from anywhere, Liberia, Europe, or America, anytime, anywhere. So call us on this number. That's +4799450882. It's in bold writing on your screen. So you can call us and tell us exactly what is your contribution on what you've been hearing. Joe, can you chime in just under a minute?
I think Moses have a number on the ground there that he used, so he can call his number instead of the local number as well.
Yeah, okay. Mostly you can also put call your number so that you can call. But
yeah, so for the numbers here in Liberia that callers can use to participate on the bottom line, the numbers are 0776 824003 and 0555 514885.
Okay. Probably I don't know how fast it will be able to copy those numbers and memorize it, but you can repeat it again one more time, Moses, so that people who are in the middle of writing, they can get the full figures, and then we can move ahead.
Okay, so let me repeat the number: 0776 824003 and 0555 514885.
Okay, so those are the numbers to call and the one on your screen. But Joe, tell us exactly, just under 1 minute, what do you make up of all that we've been talking about, or the 5 pillars of Mr. Cummings, and how the house I will do it? Just under a minute.
I think it's important to note that if you look at Mr. Cummings, we tend to combat corruption in the governance state of our country. Corruption is killing the fabric of this society, and everywhere you go, you continue to see a huge public cry on corrupt leaders. A case study could be just the sanction that was posed on government officials. So Mr. Cummings' fight to combat corruption is very strict, and he made that very clear. So you're looking at him talking about the LACC. The LACC, we should give LACC the independent role to discharge her function. We don't have a government wherein you're going to see the president whenever LACC or GSC is going to audit any government agency. You see government, the president is placing phone call to the commissioner there to tell him, this is my friend, and this case is not, the case should not be investigated. This person should not be investigated. So Mr. Cummings is saying that we should give them the independent responsibility. We should give them the space that will discharge the function, and then whatever that will come out for the verdict, the law should be the law. And another thing should be the PPCC, the Public Procurement Concession Commission. I think if you follow the biometric process, you could understand how the National Election Commission breached the PPCC law of Liberia that talk about how you should carry on the advertisement of bid, how you should work contract. So giving look at Mr. Cummings' experience and understand how he's going to fight corruption, I think those institutions will be empowered. The level of justice will be given to them, and they will have the independent role to carry on their function respectively.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Moses, do you have any call there?
Not yet. We're still waiting for calls to come in.
Okay. While we await callers to call, just in
Yeah,
case
Limpo, and somebody can be talking anytime.
yeah.
Anytime a call
So
comes in, then we.
okay, Moses, you got to lower your monitor because you're getting feedback. But let me just ask Joe. This one will take us home. Joe, you are in Liberia, and then Moses, can you lower your volume, please? Or anybody who got on volume, anything, any speaker or whatever. But Joe, you are in Liberia, and the CPP is set to make its announcement about the VP pick this weekend.
Limpo, we're getting feedback from the studio, man.
Moses, if you're hearing us, I think we're having some feedback. You can just mute the gadget.
Yeah, it's better.
It's okay. So just briefly, 1 minute. This time I'll put a check. 1 minute. Tell us, what is the momentum like in Grand Bassa County? Because all roads will lead to Grand Bassa County this particular weekend.
Well,
the
momentum is high.
Okay. Go on, Moses.
Yeah, Moses.
Yes, the momentum is high. There are huge momentum right now as I speak to you in Grand Bassa County. And then I can squarely say a lot of our viewers, we will encourage them to follow Bottom Line because we will be there live. The adults, the youth, the student community, the marketers, all of them, they are going to receive the CPP from the bridge. And from my understanding, 2,000 youth are already volunteered themselves to be all in the street. So this afternoon, I called my colleague from Magibi. The Basel people from Magibi Riverside already start trooping in to Grand Bassa County. So there will be no capacity there to accommodate a lot of people from Monrovia. But the momentum is high. The Basel people can't wait to see Mr. Cummings being there along with the CPP leadership to make that pronouncement of the running mate. But the momentum is very high.
Great news, great news.
And to add on to what Joe just said, this thing going to be historical in Liberia because since the independence of Liberia and the governments we be having in Liberia, no Bazolan, you understand, ever become a vice president or a president in Liberia. And looking at the Bassa tribe, is one of the biggest tribes in Liberia that cover 5 counties, if I'm correct. So this going to motivate many Bazolan across the country. It's not a tribal issue. It's not a tribal issue, but it's going to encourage Bazolan in the sense that a Bassa person, if the CCP is elected by the Liberian people, that you're going to have a young female to be a vice president, well articulated, educated, and she's going to serve as an ambassador and a role model to a lot of female. I don't know Charlene's age, but I believe she's between the late 30s to her early 40s. So this is somebody who's going to be an ambassador. Mostly you muted.
48 years. She's 48 years.
Okay, she's 48 years. That's a young age as well. So she's going to serve as a role model. And a lot of African female, our former president, Mother Ellen, she set the example. Like they're always setting an example. That's one thing we are very good at, always setting historical record. So Charlene too going to be setting that record in the West Africa belt to be after Madam Joy Howard Taylor, to be the next vice president, which is younger than Joy Howard Taylor. So that's something that a lot of people, besides the Bazolan, other people going to be, gravitating towards the CCP. And you got a lot of our young daughters. She's going to also play an active role. I believe Mr. Cummings is going to give her that responsibility to see how best the rehabilitation process of a lot of our young daughters that hook up on drugs in the country. So the CCP, they got a lot to do if they take power tomorrow. And if you listen to Ms. Lane for thanks.
Okay. We jam with time. You know, it's hard to work against time. But we do not have a call. If we do not have a call, then we'll begin to wrap up very quickly. Paul, 30 seconds.
Well, it's good to be back here, and I'll say, since Moses will be leaving us, I'll say thanks to our listening audience to start with. And the question you asked about momentum, from what I was told, we don't know who's going to be the running mate yet. Everybody just speculating on Saturday before that running mate name is announced. So I guess people in, because all road lead to Buchanan as I learned. So Joseph said it, said yeah, people are gearing up, everybody excited and waiting for the bone share who's gonna be that person. But we know there's a person in the wing that people keep talking about, and we hope it's that person. Yes, if it's all, I think it would be a good thing for Liberia. It also, because if you look at the population in Liberia, you have a very youthful population, and Charlene fall into that youth. I mean, because somebody in Liberia can be 40, they call them youth. She fall into that group. So I think a lot of young girls who will see her as a role model. It will be a good thing that she is announced pick. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting time, and we shall see, and maybe it will encourage them all to come down and help the campaign. So yes.
Okay. Quickly, let me just say thank you to our listeners via radio Rare Power FM. We're going to be here next Tuesday on Rare Power FM again. But this program continues right after we've left the radio. We're going to be here for the next 10-15 minutes. But then we're coming back on Friday. This time we'll not be on the radio. So we want to say thank you for listening to us, and for our viewers, keep there. Our Facebook, we're working on it. It's going to be in tight. And so do not think that if you don't follow the program today on Facebook, that means that you're not going to get it again. We're working on the Facebook. And so we like to say, those of you in Radio Land, thank you very much for listening. My name is Linford Go, along with Paul Trupe, Mark Farr, and our correspondent in Liberia, Joseph T. Yonle, for making this program possible on the radio Rare Power FM. We want to thank the management and staff of Rare Power FM, our control, Moses Collie. You did extremely well. We hope to be here by next Tuesday on Rare Power. But join us on Friday for a fresh edition of Bottom Line on the internet. So we now say we take our break from Rare Power because we're not leaving them. We'll be here again. So we take our break from there now. But before we go, I guess Moses would like to roll our Bottom Line promo whenever we're coming on next time, so that the people know that we are coming on. They can get glued to that radio. Okay, so guys, we are on our own now, and we're not on the radio anymore, but we are covering the world. This one is even wider because the radio is only in Liberia, but this one we are going wider. So we were talking about the momentum building in Grand Bassa County. Now, Paul made a very important point. We do not know yet who is who in Grand Bassa County, because Grand Bassa itself has a lot of potential. It has a lot of rich people when it comes to people who could be chosen, who can make a good running mate. My own good friend and big brother, Louis Brown, is there. He has a following. Former Defense Minister Daniel Tia. You got former Foreign Minister Wezoga Finlay. He's just fresh from government. He's strong. He still got followers. You got Macintosh Gary. I remember the name Macintosh Gary a long time ago from the MPFL days, when I don't know what was between this man and the late Tom Hoyu, but Tom Hoyu was always on his back. And so Macintosh Gary has been in politics for a while. And I know he got followed. And in Liberia, everybody, if you enter politics today, you got people behind you. Mr. Cummings has established that. So whether Mr. Cummings will win or not, he got a following. He got people, the group of people that are behind him. Oh, yes, they are committed. Okay, and then you got a lot of people, but we're hoping that the standard bearer of the CPB, Mr. Cummings, will make a very good choice, and that this announcement will be the building block, because that's what will help the CPB to foster itself in the coming election. Can you imagine that even the
Yeah,
ruling
Linford,
party?
can you guys take this number down now?
Yeah, okay. Can you imagine that the ruling party, even the ruling party and the opposition, they're all afraid of this particular, I mean, or they're waiting. They are, sorry, they're all glued to hear this thing. Everybody, oh, when is he announcing? When is he announcing? There must be something wrong somewhere. And let me tell you one thing today. Let me tell you one thing today. I thought it was sedition or Daha sedition that will fight. And he called me today. He said, my man, let's talk, friend talk. I said, okay, let's talk. The first thing he called me, I called him. He said, no, they want to call him. The guy said, you know that when United Party, when they announced their running mate before the CPP, they made CDC to rest. I said, what do you mean? He said, because we're all waiting for coming and Vaka ticket. And that ticket, by the time you announce it, the CDC will go in disarray. That's why he told me. So I said, but don't you think the tickets that you got to contend with now, they are very strong? He said, well, we're waiting to see. So there is something about this CPP running mate that everybody is waiting to hear, because by the time they hear it, bam, it will run into that span and trouble will come. So Paul, give me what you think is happening. Why you think people so glued? Why they not walking away? So, man, we get time, whether the man need somebody or not, but everybody's sitting down waiting.
Linford, it's good I just came from Liberia, and people will be amazed that if you travel the rural part of Liberia, you hear Mr. Cummings' name. People are silent, and majority of them that are feeding the problem in Liberia are women. They feed the problem more than the men. And most of them, I can tell you, they are Mr. Cummings people. So when you hear that he's going to pick somebody, all this noise we've been hearing about Nimba County, McCann from Nimba, McCann from this county, Lofa County, Bon County, and you have Grand Bassa County just there. So if he chose Grand Bassa
Man,
County,
you can pay my ground time. You're going to be
if he
controlling
chose,
your partner.
please mute yourself, Mark. We can hear you.
Please mute yourself.
I'm sorry.
So if he chose Grand Bassa County, it tells us something is sent a signal that wait a minute, Grand Bassa County, because in Liberia they go with the thing they call the people believe in a tribalists. So if we go by that traditional thing and being tribalist now, then if Grand Bassa come to play, not only that you have Gibby County, Moserado County, Grand Bassa itself, then you have Riverside,
Part of Bon County.
and part of Bon County, some part of Nima County, because wherever they link. But then look at it. The Bassa tribe is the second largest after the Pele. So we come to the tribal thing. So that is why people now are jittering, and people who were causing all of these noise, they kind of go in their share and waiting to see the big announcement, because that would be the game changer. So all the time we've been hearing, oh, Nimba. And Nimba get many traps in Nimba. Lofa County, there are many traps in Lofa County. But then here come Grand Bassa County. This is a game changer. And this is why the momentum is building up. People who were on the offense, they see something different. And this is what brings them on board. They see this guy as two people. If the woman is fake, they mean that two clean hands coming into picture. You cannot tie them with corruption. You cannot tie them with anything criminal in Liberia. And that's why it will be a good ticket if she is picked.
Okay. Oh, Jama is the late bloomer. He just coming. Probably he's been spying on us and getting all of the information. Jama, good evening. How you doing? And why are you late? You got to face it, Jury. Why are you late? But do not answer me. Just tell me exactly why you think uh, everybody's glued to that. Because what would normally happen? I know the opposition or even the ruling party. What would normally happen in a political game is that okay, we already have our running mate. The ruling party have their running mate. The other opposition party has selected a running mate. So who the other person we get time for them, let them wait. But everybody's kind of doing the opposite, where everybody's saying, "Oh, they were choosing the other person." The other person said no, said they're going to the other. Why are they so concerned? Why are they glued to their seat and they're hoping? You are muted, Chima.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Am I laudable?
You are good.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I was just doing some technical work in the background because we have some issue with the Facebook. I think we are live on Facebook already. And I was speaking to the radio station in Liberia to make sure we go live in Liberia. However, back to the question, to think about who they bring in, we kind of going to be a groundswell celebration. Whatever the case is, whoever comes from Buchanan or Bassa in general, they're going to make a case, history in Liberia. Let's consider Charlene Brownskin is going to be the next person. Man, that makes history because she's a young lady, very vibrant, firebrand, educated, well connected to the grassroots. And not only that, she bringing a lot into the political dynamics in Liberia. And that gave a lot of young people the courage to go into politics, and more especially a young lady. So it brings a lot of things to the picture. So, when you talk about the future leader, youth are the future leader. You look at people like if the generations are coming up, give room to other people to fit in. Then there's a room that we can express. You get room that we can feel part of politics. People say, I don't like to talk politics. But whatever you do as a person, the people make political decisions affect your life. They impact your life. So I just wait to see how what's going to happen. But the issue of why are they worried, glued to know who comes next to Mr. Kumi? Mr. Kumi has made his case for almost 5 years and a half, some months now. He's been knocking every door in Liberia, telling them he's capable, and they're saying he doesn't have the number, doesn't have the platform. I don't know what is coming from, but if he's making a case, he has a strategy, he's working towards it, and he's going to make the numbers. And people will be surprised that he's going to make the numbers. And this is how it is. I don't know what statistics they're using Liberia in terms of he does not have the numbers, he doesn't have the platform. As far as we are concerned, he's making a case, and whoever he picks in Buchanan or Grand Bassa this weekend is history already, Paul. It's already history, gentlemen. We know very well that Charlene is a history. It's a reincarnation of Charles Bromskin, and that's a good thing for Liberia. That Mr. Bromskin he made history. He was the only one that stood against Mr. Taylor at the time when Taylor was a very strong man in the region. And he was a political leader, and he put up a case and had a lot of respect for him. If Charlene can come in that picture, that's history in the making. So we hope they can, Mr. Cummings will pick up Charlene Bromskin as the next person. That will be history in Liberia. And I hope we can celebrate that in grand style. And that is a winning ticket, trust me.
And that is the winning ticket, so say Jamal. And I think I will. Well, the big Liberian world is say concur with you. That is the winning ticket because I've seen Charlene in action 2017 election when she was pushing for her dad. She is a firebrand, no doubt about it. You see, Mr. Cummings, I think it'll be a good match because he cool and soft, but she get fire in her belly. So that is what we people should observe when it comes to when a campaign start. They're going to see different things and they're going to see this young person who out there and pushing the case, making the case corruption free. These are the people we should watch out for. I know Brother Mark is his throat is itching to say something about this, so let me let him flow.
No, brother Paul. I'm enjoying you guys talking, and I believe that's the right thing we should be doing, talking more about Mr. Cummings' vision and his ideology and the person that going to be running mate to Mr. Cummings. And this thing about, I mean, this wonderful history, I think almost 100 years ago, that the Pele tribe is the largest tribe in Liberia. I believe if we go to do a new census now, and with the rightful kind of people on the field, you'll find that the Basel tribe, if possible, it could be the largest tribe to overtake the Pele tribe, because this history, yeah, one history almost 100 years ago. So I want to believe that the Basel tribe
No, but you
has
see the
grown
problem.
a
Okay,
lot.
now
And then
you pulling with the people there. But let me
and then
defend
to
us.
I come in Linford, I come, yeah, but Linford,
Yeah,
no,
go
but
ahead,
Linford,
go
wait,
ahead.
you gotta give me a chance. Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
I'll come.
so when it come to, yeah, so when it come to, you know, the thing is already in the atmosphere, and you understand, there's no turning around about it. It has created a lot of excitement and momentum, you understand, and it has also caused a lot of sensation across the country and across the, or let's
So
say, about Charlene name, you understand? And then two, UP made a mistake. They went ahead first. You understand? That was a big mistake. If you ever study the art of war, you understand? And their pick of choice did not send a shocking wave across the country. So now Mr. Cummings, I mean, he's on the chessboard, he on the checkerboard. He got to move his king. You understand? In a very strategic way, that when his king makes a move and the opponent will be defeated, they will say, wow, what a move the king. You know, sometimes when you're playing checkup, right? You know how to position your C. The king sometimes or one C, you eat like 5, 6, 7 of your opponent. You understand? So it's the move that Mr. Cummings is going to make, and the name Charlene already is that particular name that is in the air, and there's no denying about it. Because if the ANC, Liberty Party, CCP made a mistake and introduced a name, you understand that the Liberian people are not going to feel that our name is not connected with the people. Like how Charlene sent that shocking wave across the country. We're going to have different thing to deal with. That will be a different atmosphere you're creating right there. But I want to believe 100% strongly that she is the person. And that is why the momentum is there within the CCP and across the country and across the diaspora. Thank you.
right. So Linford, although you wanted to talk about
The
the
Pele
Pele
people, they
tribe,
know what they.
because you want to defend the Pele people, but I got a scene here too, because that same old history that Mike referred to, the Guru tribe became the 10th largest tribe after the Bassa tribe. So that's something. So you, Maggie, read. We need to go into that history. They need to do a census to know
Exactly.
where we are, because
Exactly.
the Boca
Okay, but
census that they did
let's look
recently.
at
Let me
the
learn.
demographic.
The Boca census that they did recently. Could you imagine my own county, where G the population have tripled? So
Yeah.
there's something that they need to do a proper one and see. And I know my brother over
And
there
and
is
and any River G, you got group of people in River G also.
exactly that's what I'm saying. So all of these things we got to do or say. So all the thing about Pele people, the larger
Pele
child,
people
we need
being
to put
almost
we need to put
150
question
year
mark to it.
history.
Yeah.
150
Because,
year
You see,
history still going
you don't know the
around.
you don't know the secret in it here. One parliament can marry 2, 3 wives. You see it?
what am I talking about? You know about
What you
growing
talking about?
tradition. Look, yeah, Jema here.
What you talking
Jema is
about?
a.
One Pele man. You know what the Bassa people, the Crown
You
people,
know what
that
the
all the
Mandingo
tribes
folk can
across
do?
our country, that
No,
all the
no,
tribes
Dave,
get
that's
that thing
true.
back. Yeah, come on, yeah, come on, Joma.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what you know what the Maniopo can do?
yeah. They can marry seven. You talking about?
No, they can
Okay.
marry six. You asking
We
on
need to do
Joma?
new set. We need to do new sensor. But guys, I think it was a
Yeah,
good show
but
tonight.
yeah,
Except that there is anything that anybody wants to add that we didn't talk about, and but you know, there is one thing I wanted to talk about the security bit. You know, all of these things we're talking with all of the Google plans that all the politicians have. If we have trouble in a country, it will not come to fruition. That's why I thought it was very much important, even though this topic has been discussed widely. But from outside, I think it was important that we talk about it. You know, Prince Johnson, we all know who this man is. Okay. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and the person said something that carried my mind back. The guy said, you know, when you bring leopard in town, you put in a zoo or tiger, it becomes a play toy. But a Prince Johnson that we knew, the man name, if you were in Greater Liberia before, just the name Prince Johnson will make people run away. I remember when the war hit Memorial, July 2nd, we were displaced on Nafende Camp. We were at Omega Tower. But there were a group that were going to Kakata, started running away from Fender Camp, coming back to Memorial again. We asked why they said Prince Johnson coming. So this is the Prince Johnson that the boys keep bothering. Ele man, even though he's much older now, but Ele man will explode again. And he still got people following him. We'll go, even if we don't go back to where we came from, we'll go very close there. See, so I think the security thing is important. All the people, the parties that are militarizing their group, they should stop. There should be no militancy in the political arena where you got every party now get militant wing. You go outside and they're wearing it. It shouldn't be this way because anything happening now, yes, we all be a loser, and especially to the government people. You are in power. You got the police. You got the army. So why would you need some extra group called militant that will go and disturb and start beating people? What are those people who they're beating to say, okay, we want to react? So that's why I think it's important for us to talk about the security.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't think you Prince Johnson going to scare anybody when you say Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson. I don't know why he's saying that Prince Johnson will come back. He's not a leopard. He's not a lion. I don't want you to. I don't want you to glorify him. That's not the point here, brother. The problem here is I don't support the militarizing of something. If Prince Johnson was a murderer, he should have not gone into exile. He should have stayed in Liberia. He went into exile in Nigeria. So he stays there. Leopard should have stayed in Liberia up to the end of the war. He did not stay. So that's not the point. Whatever the case is, we don't support anybody going against anybody like at this point in time. We already witnessed 14 years of war. We don't want it to be repeated. But I can tell you in Liberia, nobody's stupid anymore. If anybody do come back with any action, people are ready to fight back. We don't want to encourage this. We want a constitutional change in our country. We want to fight in our country. But we're not saying that we're going to glorify Prince Johnson. Yeah, you can come back again. You come back.
We're not. It's not like glorify. What we say, there are people behind them that can.
Yeah, but we all have people behind us.
Yeah, Linford.
You see,
what I'm trying to say,
everybody got people. So when one person start, everybody will start coming on. Then what
I'm trying to say, I support you. Sorry, Mark, go on.
Yeah, what Jamal is trying to say, the idea of even glorifying that he got that, that he's that might, that's the one we should not glorify.
Yeah, no.
But what we should also condemn at the same time is that people attacking these people, and you understand, we know who they are by what they did in our society, the harm they caused to the society. That's what we identify them to be. But they are no extraordinary people for us to glorify them that, oh yeah, they can stay, repeat what they did in the past. No, Liberian people are not going to condone that. And one of the reasons we got the security problem in Liberia is from the international community to the UP government. I blame them because when we had the international community present in Liberia, through the peacekeeping mission where you had the Swedish in Liberia, you had the Danish soldiers in Liberia, you had a few Pakistani or Sri Lankan soldiers under the United Nations umbrella, there where they should have built the Liberian security apparatus, number one, the armed forces, to at least 20,000 manpower, because this is a country that have almost 5 million people. You build the security apparatus to almost 5,000 or 10,000. You build the, the intelligence or the NSA to almost 2,000. This
I think Mark is frozen.
Mark may have some issue of connection. Well, Mark, if you might, I think Paul comment before I say that I do support your argument of not supporting these militancy, because people like Louis G. Brown witnessed some similar thing, went to a radio station. He was attacked because he was making some comment on a radio station. Not only that, many other people being attacked by the party militants, which we should not condone. The thing, the fact of the matter, Liberia we need security right now. We need peace. We need a constitutional change in our country. If we want to make our voice, we do it on the constitutional ground. And I don't support them going to the compound of the church of the senator getting his attention. That was out of provocation, which is not acceptable. And I do understand that we should say this loud and clear to the people. That if you have a case to make, you need to come out and make your case loud and clear through a constitutional means. Not like going to somebody's compound and making these statements, accusing him, all this stuff. It doesn't. It's out of provocation, and I wish we should speak loudly about. That's my point here, gentlemen.
And I agree with you, Linford. Jamal, we should speak louder about this. It's unacceptable. These are all rebel group that are going after each other, and the young people that were chanting, some of them were born during the war. Some of them they didn't even hear bullet. These are people that are encouraging to go on the street. Sorry, Mark.
Brother Paul, what I was talking about, and we had trouble, right? So if we had good security institution in the country, the security apparatus, right, the police, they would have gone after whosoever that provoked the issue, and those that sent them. You understand? The police will be an independent institution. Nobody, no president, no lawmaker, no bossman in the country that the police going to respect and say, oh yeah, yes sir, chief, yes sir, chief. The police officer, the first citizen in the country, the army man, the first citizen in the country, like the police officer, you understand? So these people, if they are paid satisfactorily, you understand? Police officer, police director, not taking order from nobody. Sometimes I look at the Liberian Constitution, I'm like, people like the police director, the justice minister, the solicitor general, the NSA director. Sometimes these people are supposed to be people elected, or it's just out of imagination, right? Because once these people, they are appointed position by the president, sometimes then they give way into the executive branch, that people from the executive branch, oh my man, they men are the president from, oh my man, yeah, the other one are the president, so you understand? Then people are afraid of them. So under Mr. Cummings' leadership, I believe the security apparatus are going to be an independent. Mr. Cummings is going to appoint somebody who independent to these institutions, that will head these institutions, so that nobody will feel that, oh yeah, my man, Mr. Cummings' friend, man, they man, oh my man, they man are Mr. Cummings' bully, or the man are the chief of staff, or the man are the justice minister body. You understand? All these things are the cause that people can just do things and no punishment for. Actually, no punishment for anybody. Anybody do something in the country, go free.
Yeah, that's right. Because whatever they're using, the accusation of Senator Johnson using popular to speak against other people, the president is doing it. He's using his church to do the same thing. Why is it that people are not going to his church and condemning the president? They're all using the church. A couple of weeks back, they were using a very popular pulpit to speak against each other. So they were like throwing jabs at each other. So nobody went to the president or to his church to condemn him, to carry like he's a criminal, he's this, all this stuff. Nobody said that. There's no reason to go to Senator Johnson's church compound and provoke him. It's unacceptable. I mean, that should be condemned. That should be really condemned. And the attack on Louis Brown at the radio station, it was the same seditious militants or gangs of gangsters that went attacking when on the radio station, and that was not condemned. So those are out of gangsterism. Gangsterism should not be condoned. We should condemn this thing. We want a constitution to take place in Liberia. We want constitutional change. We don't want to fight. We have 14 years of war, which we don't want to support. We should not encourage. We should. On top of that, we should not glorify people like Johnson. If he was alive, he should have not stayed.
Story.
He should have not been. He was smuggled out of Liberia to Nigeria to survive. If he was a strong player, he was a fighter.
That's exactly.
So you should have stayed in Liberia to face the situation that we are facing. Those who are strong, they remain in the country. So the argument of we don't want to repeat of history. I mean, what happened in Liberia? We want to observe history. We want to use history as a lesson. I think we should wish well for Liberia. I think go on.
You know what I thought about Prince Johnson? I told people, I said Prince Johnson is just a chameleon. I changed from one color to another. When Prince Johnson was in Nigeria, when he said he was a man of God, you understand? Then the same Prince Johnson came back to Liberia, he entered Liberian politics. The president called me straight and said, Matt, you really saw this thing coming. I said, Prince Johnson just a chameleon that changed to a different color. When you're in Nigeria, you say man of God, he ain't got nothing to do with politics, he ain't got nothing to do with Liberian government. Okay? But he came out of Liberia all of a sudden, the color changed, he come back into an old color. So like the same way that these people, and when this time he made the bigger mistake of his life, if he ever tried any food in the, any of them try food in that country to try to disturb the peace and stability in that country. But like Joma is saying, the president, he will go use a pulpit, throwing talk at other people, throwing jobs at other people. Who is he? He's not above the citizen of Liberia. We saw great men and fall in Liberia. Charles Taylor then, Samuel Doe then, they did their own thing. Their season was over. So he thinks he above. I mean, these things it take time to manifest. But Liberian people are not praying for them anyway. That is why this time Liberian people, they are feeding the economy. They're going to vote wisely, and they like I said when Victoria on the show, the silent voters. Yeah, the silent voters. They're going to throw the biggest blow in the. They are not talking too much. The silent voters. But they know who to vote for. They listen to all these people. They won't gonglo them. When I ask Tewon Gonglo about the security apparatus, what's the size of the security apparatus? That's something he couldn't answer. Okay, and this man want to be president for Liberia. Are you joking? The people playing with the country. You ask Joseph Baga. Joseph Baga barely toured the country, but the only politician who toured the country since the election are Mr. Cummings. He in the southeast, Mr. Cummings in the other county, Mr. Cummings in Lofa, Mr. Cummings in Bapolu, Mr. Cummings in Bomin, Mr. Cummings in Bon County, he in Grand Basso, he in Rewose. Mr. Cummings the only politician who going everywhere. That means this man has a vision. He know why he visiting the counties over and over and over. Okay? He know why he visiting this county. He has his plan. He has drawn a chessboard. But Barker then sitting down somewhere, Barker can barely walk for, I mean, no disrespect. Can barely walk and barely stand for 2-3 hours. My man,
don't talk to my
man,
uncle
that's
Joe
the
like that
that's
because
my
my
man,
uncle
that's the
Joe is
fact.
not running.
Paul,
Don't talk to my uncle, he's not running.
Paul, we
Don't
have
talk
to
to
say,
him.
Paul, no
He's
matter how
not
you
running.
feel about your Uncle Joe, this is the
I
fact.
said my
Yeah,
uncle not
this is
running,
the
so
fact.
please don't talk about him. My uncle is
Oh,
not
the man are
well.
running, my man. Yeah, your uncle not well. So the people that are
Yeah,
pushing
so
the
please
old
don't talk
man
about. I
for the
beg
election,
you.
something. The people that are pushing the old man for the presidency, the people then they need to find place to sit down. Their country needs somebody where we give 14 hours of their 24
Brother
like
Mark,
to Liberia. Your 14 hour. Yeah.
Jody, listen. My uncle is not well. According to the front page Africa, my uncle is relying on pacemaker 97.5% depend on the pacemaker. So his own heart is 2.5. So he
Oh, your
said in the
uncle coming to America again.
the last election, it was election pressure that made him to have that pacemaker. So my uncle now running because if it reach to 97.5%, that 2%, my uncle need to keep that 2% for his grandchildren, his great grandchildren to enjoy him. So my uncle not running.
We will
And
petition.
he said
We will
it in the
petition the
interview.
government.
My uncle must go sit down in Lofa County. They will campaign on his behalf. So if that then the people going to vote for, my uncle not running. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, but then that is not good. We want the Joe Biden system. America, Joe
No,
Biden having a
no,
basement. People
Joe
campaign
Biden
for
was
any
going
president.
campaigning all over the place, but my uncle will not.
My man,
My
Joe
uncle is
Biden was
not
hiding
running.
during Joe Biden was hiding during the Corona time. We want our system like bro, Baga be hiding and you go to all of a sudden. They make Baga president. Why? Where will be holding your hand? Get a one old, get a how they call it that? Old man taking her child to the daycare center. How Joe Biden? They can be holding Joe Biden.
Having
Hand.
said all of this, God, we need to wrap up this show because I want to say something here. My uncle cannot walk for 10 minutes to go from a house from rehab where he lived to go to rehab market. It's about 15 minutes, 5-minute walk. My uncle will take 25 minutes to get there. So my uncle is not running. And you carry the message. His nephew said he's not running. And so guys, great show. We're back here on Tuesday. Jamal, thank you. We're on Facebook now. We're back. Mark, thanks for the show. You guys did well. Friday will be here with another fascinating show because that is the eve of the big announcement. So on that Friday, what we're gonna do, we're gonna download Charlie music that was just released by Sonny Boy Dearborn. So on Friday will be gearing up. Then on Saturday, the guys in the UK, ANC, CPP, UK, having a fundraiser. It'll be at Lloyd Park, and that day will all be together when the announcement is made. So, guys, give us 2 minutes, 1 minute each, so we can close off the team. What are your thoughts of the program today?
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. I know you guys did a great job. Came in late. I know I was doing some techie work, but however, you guys did a great job. But just my announcement. The speaker of Joseph T. Yole will be our correspondent in Grand Bassa, Buchanan. Will be giving live every minute description of what's going to happen. He'll be live on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, on online radio. We will be live. Borderline Liberia will be live from Buchanan on that day. We should be on the 27th. Joseph will be there, bring all the live description of the happening in Buchanan. So we ask you to follow us every step, every moment to see the happening in Buchanan. So that's what I tell you. Don't forget, always tune into Borderline Liberia. We are there 247 on the online radio, Facebook, YouTube, and whatever. You enjoy it. This is your own community radio and TV. Thank you, guys, and thank you for having a pleasant show.
Thank you, Brother Mark.
And what is happening to the internet tonight? Yeah, I want to say thank you to, the Liberian people, our audience listening or watching, and we are going to be here and talking about Mr. Cummings' message.
Okay, Mark he got internet problem. He keep breaking up. So on that note, I will say thanks to our audience for being with us. Those that are following us on YouTube, Facebook, and we're also on Twitter. And our online radio is also those that are following. Thanks so much for being here. We're back here on Friday with another edition. So on this note, we'll leave you with a nice, beautiful, traditional group of music, the third largest trial after the Basel trial. So, Lifor, you want to say something before we go? So, good night, everyone, and have a pleasant evening. I'll leave you with a beautiful music.
Go. Sit. Hi. Oh, yeah. Wow.